Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the proper use of 6/4 chords. So 6/4 chord basically is just a triad in second inversion which we're using in our 4-voice chorales. So I've got a C major chord up there. To turn that into a second inversion chord, we invert it once to move the C to the top, and then another time so that the fifth is in the bass. What's special about this chord and what makes it kind of a tricky chord to deal with, and one of the reasons that we're only just starting to deal with it right now, is that one of the major parts of the chord is a perfect fourth from the bass to another member of the chord. So the G to the C is a perfect fourth, and as we know, that perfect fourth is dissonant, so it's an unstable interval. That means that this chord is inherently unstable. Even though it's a C major chord in C major, it doesn't function that way. So there are really only 4 instances where we're actually allowed to use 6/4 chords. 3 of them we're going to address in this video: the passing, the neighbor, and the arpeggiated 6/4. Another one which is really important, the cadential 6/4, we'll save for another time. So if we look at this first little snippet here, we have a 1 chord, so C, E, G, followed by this chord with a D in the bass, so we have G, B, D, so that's a 5 chord with the 5th of the chord in the bass, so a 5/6/4. And just as a reminder, the 6 and the 4 just tell us the intervals above the bass. So we have a 6th above the bass, and we have a 4th above the bass. And then the last chord is a 1/6. So 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 6. When we're doing 6/4 chords, almost all the time you're going to double the bass. So you're going to double the 5th of the chord, and that's going to help it feel like it's moving to a different place. So if you listen to this passing 6/4, basically how it's made up is we've got the bass of the chord passing between 2 other chords. So the C moves by step to the D, which moves by step in the same direction to the E. So theoretically we could go C, B, A, and that B could also be a passing note. So all that matters is that it goes by step and in the same direction. So we're building this chord as a passing chord, and really all it's doing is extending that 1. It can't act as really a true dominant. It doesn't act like a cadential figure at all. What we're having is just an extension of 1. So listen again and hear how it doesn't really emphasize itself. It pushes us through. So another type of 6/4 chord is the neighbor 6/4, and all of these are predicated on the bass movement. So like we said, the passing 6/4, this D passes between the C and the E stepwise in the same direction. In this case, the neighbor 6/4, the bass note is the same for all 3 chords. So we have a 5, we have a 1/6/4, and then we have a 5. In this case, this 6/4 not really functioning like a 1, it's just extending that 5. So basically what's happening is the alto is doubling the bass here. The other voices are just moving up and then coming back. So it's just a little flirtation with 1 before we come back to where we should be, which is 5. And then the last one, probably the easiest, is the arpeggiated 6/4. Again, we're looking at the bass most of the time. So we can see we have a 1 chord, a 1/6, so the 3rd is in the bass, a 1/6/4, and a 1/6. It doesn't have to be in exactly this configuration. You could do 1, 1/6/4, 1/6. There are some other ways, but this is, you can see it's clearly arpeggiated in the bass. And this one sounds like this. So again, it's not really functioning as something new. In this case, it's functioning just as an extension of this big 1 sonority that goes throughout. So 6/4 chords, be very, very careful where you use them. Passing 6/4, the bass goes stepwise in the same direction. So we get our chord that's stable, and then our unstable passing 6/4, and then another stable chord. In the neighbor 6/4, we just stick around on the same note, and the upper voices move and then come back. And then the arpeggiated 6/4, we're just going around chord members, and it doesn't really function as its own sonority.